Montana, a sprawling outdoorsman's Eden with ice-covered peaks and unspoiled wilderness. Patrolling and protecting these natural resources is a first-class band of peace officers. These are the Wardens, dedicated to the preservation of the last best place.
I got a call from a co-worker that somebody just shot a couple elk. They're trespassing. I believe they shot from the road. The landowner's watching them now, and we are en route to that location to see if we can catch up to these guys still in the field. We got a ways to go to get there, but we'll see. While we're traveling, I'll try to get in touch with the sheriff's department and see if anybody out there might be closer to be able to make contact with them.
Near Billings, Montana, Region 5 State Game Warden Kevin Holland races to his first call. A tipster reports that a group of hunters is illegally harassing a herd of local elk.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Good.
Good. Thank you for it.
Yeah. Good to have.
I noticed some lights parked on the highway. This happens all the time when the elk are here. They stop and watch them.
Sure.
No big deal to me, but when they start running on my chest, they blow through my neck.
Yeah.
But he was up just where I could see him. About that yellow sign right there.
Okay, yep.
They're making their way, and they kept trying to cross, and he would cut them off.
Yeah.
He had his windows down right here, and here he is, cow calling him out his window.
Okay.
And I yelled at him. He didn't hear me, but
yeah.
I yelled at him once, telling him to get the hell out of here. 'Cause, you know.
Yeah.
Anyhow, they jumped the fence, and same thing. They'd run up a couple hundred yards, and they turned across. He'd stop them. I got in my pickup then. I went down to try and get a plate, but the truck was so dirty. All I got was 3.
Okay.
There's a black Suburban. They weren't really doing any of the hustling, but they pulled up in front of him. They went down past him, pulled off on an approach, and they all jumped out. And I went on by because I couldn't get any plates, and when I came back, they were all on the west side up here.
Do you know if those guys are still in there, or who knows?
I've been watching. I haven't seen anything take off south, but
okay. Well,
there's a black Suburban and a crew cab white.
We'll see what we come up with. Nick is coming. He'll be here in 20 minutes or half hour, and we'll look around and see what we come up with.
Coming up, Wardens call a bluff.
Nobody.
Yeah, they were.
Yes, they were. No.
Yeah, they were.
There was another pickup truck that come this way.
It was your guys' vehicles.
There's a fresh set of tracks there.
Today's Streamlight Spotlight focuses on Montana's Region 5, where State Game Wardens Kevin Holland and Nick Taylor investigate a tip call. A witness has reported a group of hunters harassing a herd of elk.
Well, about 6:30 this morning, I got a call from a gentleman up here in Custer, and said there was a white vehicle being suspicious on the road. Turned their lights off and on when other vehicles approached it, and I knew that the elk were crossing regularly in this area. And then we got a tip call from a complainant that said that some people were harassing elk. Gave good description of the vehicle. I decided I was going to come on that. There was elk in the area.
The determined wardens explore the scene and discover several key pieces of evidence. They spot tire tracks and blood, and their keen investigative senses are about to pay off.
Sweet. Right there. There's my bonus for the day. I got a 20 spot right there, baby.
$20.
Hey, I got one.
Oh, get out of here, you ass fine! Get out of here.
Yeah, buddy. Give me that money.
Oh, jeez. 60 bucks.
Give it up. Nah, you're still leaving it.
Oh.
More.
Oh, you gotta be freaking kidding me.
Here's our overtime pay for the holiday. What do you got?
40 bucks. Those guys, we're gonna have to find them and give them back. It's like $100.
The wardens have a bit of fun, but the cash becomes evidence as well.
Oh, shoot.
Suddenly, a truck approaches. It matches the witness's description. Now, wardens want answers.
Anyway, part of the reason we're down here, we just need to check and patrol and see what's shaking, and that's good.
I understand.
The other question we have, the other problem we had is if you could tell us exactly how this hunt unfolded this morning.
Oh, I got here this morning and pulled in down here, and they're out.
They were on this side
there,
and I was up
and
by
I shot a cow
up
there.
by that house.
We were waiting,
and they
hoping
crossed.
they'd cross.
And then
Why were you hoping they'd cross?
I was hoping they'd cross at some point so he could shoot, but if they didn't, I was going to shoot a cow.
You know, were you ever out of your vehicle this morning yelling at elk or driving elk on the
Negative.
highway?
I didn't get here until
I parked over, like I
About
said, like in the
6:50.
driveway of that deal, and they were.
So we wouldn't have any witnesses that tell us otherwise.
like I said, I got here and they were
Hold
all
on.
guys.
I got a call at 6:30 this morning saying that there was a white Ford being suspicious, turning their lights off when vehicles were coming down the highway.
You two guys can stay
Okay.
over there.
I never turned my lights off once.
Okay, well here's this is where we're at, okay? Right now we need to know exactly what happened so we can get to the bottom of this right now today.
Okay.
But I never once got out of my truck, and I never shut my lights off.
Who got out of their truck and was yelling at the elk?
Nobody.
Nobody.
Yeah, they were.
Yes, they were.
No.
Yeah, they were.
There was another pickup
No.
truck that come this
No,
way.
it was your guys' vehicles.
Your guys' vehicle.
It was your
I
guys'
never hung-
vehicles.
No, but they stopped and watched the elk out there the same time I was parked. I was down that way, and they were about a quarter mile this way.
Okay.
There was a pickup, I think it was a white, I don't know what it was, but they parked, or they stopped, and they watched the elk for probably a couple minutes, and then they kept driving. But I never honked my horn, and I never got out.
Well,
Let me ask you guys, do you have a cow call with you?
No.
Do you have one with you? These guys?
I don't think so.
Well, I'm going to go talk to them in a second.
Sure.
We're going to, all the stuff we're going over with you, I'm going to go over with them. If somebody was cow talking them too.
Well, the stories just aren't lining up, guys. Okay.
While Taylor and Holland continue their questioning, Game Warden Lee Burrows works another area in Region 5. He's headed to a possible poaching violation. A caller accuses another hunter of shooting an elk before legal hunting hours. Burrows hooks up with fellow warden Paul Lupke.
You're over here now. What happened, Lee?
Well, I'll show you.
Was that gut pile back there by that?
Yeah, at the roster box.
Yeah.
Yep. What happened was that hunter signed in at about 6:15. He signed in just after two other hunters, and they got an exact time, and they said it was 6:15, so it was clearly dark. And then that other hunter was parked up on the crest of that hill, and he was glassing these elk in this cornfield here. And he heard that shot at 6:30, pulled out, and he got down here at 6:33. He looked on his dash of his pickup. So, you know, I'm very confident that that elk was shot at 6:30.
On scene, the two wardens search for clues.
That hunter signed in. He drove up here, and you can see where his tracks start to pull off the road here. He takes a couple steps down here, and he stops and he squares off, and those elk are right there. And he picks out that lead cow, he told me, and he just, boom. And he's only 60 inches from his tire track. So he's only 5 feet off the edge of the road, but he's still on the shoulder of the road. And if you look up and down the road, here's probably about where the roadway ends. So see, clearly he'd have to be out here before he could make that legal shot.
In Montana's Region 5, state game wardens Kevin Holland and Nick Taylor question hunters about a possible game harassment. The wardens split up the suspects and talk to them separately. Wardens want to see if their stories match up.
So let's talk about what you did and didn't do and where you're at and how did your morning unfold? Tell me what happened.
We drove up. Chad was already up there on the road. We came this way.
Somewhere where that house is, that gentleman was saying?
Yeah, towards the top of the hill.
Yeah.
He was watching the elk that were on guys coming across. And so we came by, and we ended up on this side because Clint said I can shoot a cow on that side of the road in the 700 district.
Correct.
So we come over here, opened the gate, got in. That's when we saw the whitetail. And then we saw the elk come across, because what actually ended up pushing, there was a rig, when those elk were standing right on the fence line, there was a rig that came past them right there. It would eventually push the elk over the fence. I mean, they're coming this way anyways. They were just stopping the fence, because there was about 20 vehicles that went by while we were out here.
So why do you suppose we have a guy giving us a written statement that the white rig and the black rig, stopping, moving, harassing, chasing, forward, backward, moving, waving the arms, getting out of the vehicle?
Waving the arms?
Yeah.
Nobody got out of vehicles, nobody waved arms, nobody honked horns. We were on the highway.
I don't make this up.
No, I know, I'm just saying. But everybody here's hunted enough years, and we're from Montana. Don't do it. Because, you can get your in the ringer.
Yeah.
Across Region 5, Warden Lee Burrows investigates a possible poaching case. Using information from the public sign-in box, Burrows tracks down the hunter in question. The cooperative suspect agrees to meet wardens at the scene.
One other thing that other guy said when he came down here, he asked you if you shot a little early, and you said, I don't think so. And then he made the comment, and you said, I think it's 6:30. Do you remember saying that, or?
I don't remember saying that.
Yeah. And
like I said, I was limited in what I was saying to him, because I could tell he wanted to get confrontational with me. I told you that. Right. I didn't.
So he seemed a little agitated.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like I said, the first thing he asked me, he goes, was there a bull in there? And I said, yeah. He says, pretty good one. I said, a 6-point, I think.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't really focused on him.
Right.
But there was a good bull in there.
Right.
And I think he said, well, we've got a bull tag. And he said, then that's when he started going on about the little early thing.
Mm-hmm. Well,
now you know where I live and everything. And,
yep.
And like I said, I'm not trying to hide nothing from you.
Yeah, I know that.
I'm gonna, work with you. I'm in this thing I like doing it.
Sure.
I'm in it for the long haul.
Sure.
I got one boy that likes to hunt. I want to set an example for him.
Right. And I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
And like I told you last night, you've been a gentleman to work with, and I appreciate that.
I will be.
Yeah.
I don't agree with. You got a job to do, and
right.
And I'm gonna.
Yeah.
If I'm in the wrong, I'll make right.
Right. All right. That sounds good.
All right.
Thanks.
Nice seeing you guys.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
Yep.
He told me it's, the first elk he's ever killed out in the open, and he didn't have to pack it out. So I think most of our violators are, people like this guy here, they're decent people, and they see an opportunity like this. The elk are right in front of them, within 100 feet. And
yeah.
So he just jumps out, doesn't want to miss that opportunity, and he doesn't get off the road, and he shoots that elk. The law is the law, whether it's, you got to be off the road or you got to wait until legal shooting light. That doesn't mean they're poachers, but just had a momentary lapse in judgment.
Yeah.
Warden Burrows decides to follow up with his witness again. He wants to double-check a few facts.
Yeah, I said, well, it's a little early to be shooting. He said, oh no, it's 6:30. I just said, you better check your rig, because that was a little early.
Well, he said he was pretty sure it was, quarter till or later.
Oh, no, it was 6:30.
Okay. All right, well, I appreciate it, and I'll look forward to talking to you again.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, thank you, sir. Bye.
In Montana's Region 5, Wardens Nick Taylor and Kevin Holland try to figure out if hunters harassed a herd of elk and illegally harvested 2 bulls. They have eyewitnesses and suspects, but the hunters in question contend that they did nothing wrong.
This is the he said, she said.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't here. We don't know what happened. So I said to the other guys, I said, we'll write a ticket. You tell your story. The complainant will come in and tell his, and the judge will make a decision. I mean, that's how that's going to shake out.
I just think that's a bad idea. We don't, I mean, we got, you know, the problem is we got 1 or 2 against 5. We do know someone was outside their vehicle yelling and screaming at elk and honking the horn. But the thing is that, you know, the guy in the White Ford, he has the elk permit on this side of the road. So they definitely want the elk to get on this side of the road because he can't shoot that bull.
That's right.
He can't shoot that bull over here.
So why would he try to stop? It doesn't make sense he would try to stop him.
Well, unless they were staying. I could only see someone wanting to push elk if they drove down into this property and then push it up. That would make more sense to me.
That didn't happen. Yeah.
That doesn't sound like that happened.
Without concrete evidence, the wardens can prove no wrongdoing. They must release the hunters.
I got a question for all 3 of you.
Sure.
Any of you guys do cash business?
Cash business.
Yeah, you do a lot of work, you know, in your personal lives, in your business, whatever you do that does a lot of cash.
Anybody have cash in their pocket today?
Who's feeling rich?
Well, not me.
Who's buying breakfast? Is that what you're asking? I got 10 bucks.
I might buy breakfast.
I got lots of plastic.
Depends what
I've
you
got
want.
$80. Don't tell my wife.
Do you have any bucks in there?
Well, I found a handful of money over here.
Oh, about $100.
As a matter of fact, I do all sorts of cash business.
I haven't.
If we have any more issues out here, we have license plates, addresses. We know who the people are that are out here.
Yeah.
And the one guy said he's out here 4 or 5 days a week. So this one's closed.
Seems fair.
Seems fair. Let's go. Let's go have breakfast.
We can't do like a chest bump or anything?
Oh, yeah, go on,
Across Region 5, Warden Lee Burrows' possible poaching case remains unsolved. He now runs the evidence past Sergeant Randy Arnold.
So at 6:30 he heard the shot, so he drove down there and he asked the guy, he said, "You're a little early, aren't you?" And I think yesterday legal shooting light was 6:48. So I think based on those 2 hunters and the fact that, you know, they were there at 6:15 and this guy he was up here on the hill. He heard the shot at 6:30.
Well, and this is definitely one of the spots where if a guy's shooting early, it's because he's going to beat the other guys that signed in. He knew darn well he didn't want to wait until legal shooting light sitting on, for 2 reasons. Those elk are going to leave that corn and cross the road.
Right.
Or then another hunter's going to come along. I mean, this is a pretty competitive spot.
Right.
If they catch him out there at all, they've got a couple minutes of time to catch him out on that side. Every hunter I've talked to says, but you got to make sure that you're the first one there, and you got to make sure that you get them before they go back across the road. And people know that. Yeah, if you've got hunters that heard the shot, saw exactly what time it is, and they're willing to testify to that, you're going to have an easy 15 minutes early. And based on the fact that they still had their headlights on, how's he been to work with?
Well, he's been cooperative, and you know, he acknowledged that he was on the shoulder of the road, but you know, he's still saying that it was legal shooting light. But how does he know if he didn't have a watch and if he never looked at the clock on his dash? And I said, well, I kind of find it a little hard to believe that when someone comes up and talks to you window to window and said you shot early, the first thing I would have done was glance at my dash clock to see what time it was. And he said, well, I never even thought about it. And he said, I don't wear a watch. But
Well, he's building a good defense for not knowing what time it was.
Right. But exactly.
The wardens find enough evidence to charge the hunter. Now, Warden Burrows must inform the suspect.
I'm going to issue a citation for shoot before legal shooting hours, which is a violation of commission rules and regulations. It's a $135 ticket. Then I'm also going to give him a written warning for shoot from the roadway. Even though he was standing on the shoulder of the road, it's a little bit hard to define. There's no fence, no real deep borrow ditch, so we'll go with a written warning on that.
The nature of the violation requires the warden to confiscate the harvested animal. The state will keep the meat in cold storage pending the outcome of the case. Upon conclusion, the meat will be donated to a local food bank.
I'm not sure what Mr. decided he'll do, but the charge will be filed in Golden Valley County Justice Court, and we'll let the justice system work its way.
Montana, a sprawling outdoorsman's Eden with ice-covered peaks and unspoiled wilderness. Patrolling and protecting these natural resources is a first-class band of peace officers. These are the Wardens, dedicated to the preservation of the last best place.
Hello, Snick. Who's this? Hey, Vernon, how are you? Yeah, go ahead.
Montana State Game Warden Nick Taylor patrols Region 5. He's in an area known for ducks and duck hunters.
So we had a complaint and call this morning that some people were hunting some migratory birds, I assume ducks, on a pond out here not far out of town, and they were shooting at his house. Who knows? But apparently this landowner is one of these ducks landed on his property, and that these hunters shot, and apparently he's holding it hostage. He's not going to give it back to him, which he doesn't have to, but maybe we'll see what we can do, work our magic and get that duck back for him.
Eastern Montana is located in a major flyway for western waterfowl. With an abundance of rich habitat, there's no shortage of places to find birds. A popular duck pond that sits close to town is a cause for concern for some local business owners and residents.
Hey, Bryce, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
All right.
Say, well, there's the duck that was on the road.
Okay.
Those guys are on an island, right? If you go through there.
Okay.
Right down, you just drive right to it.
Okay.
And that's where they're at. I mean, they've got permission to be over there.
Okay.
It's just that with this one being on the road.
No, I understand.
And I've had people, in fact, I had my one of the gals that comes and feeds our horses. It was Sunday morning.
Okay.
They shot right over her head.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, it's part of hunting season in Montana.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, I hunt myself.
Yeah.
But,
This caller says nearby hunters are pressing their luck with unsafe shots. He wants the shooting stopped.
I don't mind people hunting and fishing.
Just want them to be safe when they're doing it.
No,
I hear you.
And to have them shoot ducks over thin ice like that. He came over and says, "Oh, we're gonna go get a fishing pole to try to get those ducks off the ice."
Good luck, huh?
Good luck with that.
Got to be pretty damn good with that fishing pole.
Yeah.
That's a long cast.
Yeah, okay. It sounds like they have permission to be out here, and it seems like your guys' concern is more of a public safety issue.
I guess that I didn't even have a problem with them because I knew they had permission to be here.
Sure.
But as I'm driving out and I see a duck on the road, I'm like, concrete guys are over here working. And sure, yeah, maybe they shot it over there and it flew that far.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't. I just would prefer they were a lot more careful, and a brainiac would have seen there's ice and said, "Oh, maybe we shouldn't shoot anything today."
Yeah, that's going to be a little bit of a really, as far as telling them, to be safe and stuff. I mean, there's not a lot of legalities on that unless they do cause damage to property. That's the best I can tell you.
Oh, that's fine.
But as far as somebody hunting, in a little hidey hole like this, we're always interested in coming out and checking them. I mean, definitely.
we'll just kind of go from there.
Appreciate it.
All right, thanks. Yeah, guys, don't hesitate to call.
Yeah. Well.
All righty. So what we're gonna do is we are just gonna make a couple phone calls. Sounds like this pond is owned by a couple separate different landowners, and they possibly have permission through a different landowner. But we'll just give him a phone call and see if we can sneak out there and see what's going on.
Over in Region 4, Warden Bryan Golie keeps an eye on the Beartooth Game Range. It's opening morning of elk season, and the warden expects a crowd.
This, anticipation, and all the traffic that was going around yesterday, all the people at the Beartooth, had a lot of problems up here in the past.
This game range sits between Helena and Great Falls and attracts plenty of enthusiastic hunters.
Hi, how'd it go?
Well, first time. First elk, 55 years old.
Wow.
Yep, and first shot.
I guess that'll work.
Well, I think so.
How far up you go?
Backside of Pollock Timbers.
Right around here? Gotcha.
Well, actually,
We came up the backside.
Came up the backside.
We just rode on.
You got a 455 tag?
Yeah, I do.
Awesome. Okay. Well, what'd you see for other people?
Saw two younger guys walking.
You guys didn't see any problems of any kind?
No, not at all.
All right. Well, we're gonna go find some.
We did be in Montana.
It is.
Thank you very much.
Yep, you guys be careful finishing it out. Great day to be in Montana. I think you should put that on TV.
Back in Montana's Region 5, Warden Nick Taylor tries to track down duck hunters staked out on a local hunting spot. The pond sits close to local businesses, and workers worry the shots are too close.
Howdy.
How are you?
Good. How's the hunting?
Oh, it's been interesting.
Yeah, it sounds like it. You guys getting a few birds?
We got a couple of nice here that.
Okay. Alrighty.
The thaw, and my buddy had to go to a meeting, and he was going to grab a fishing pole or a boat.
Okay. Is it just you here?
No, there was two of us. He had left.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. You got your bird license with you?
I do. Yeah, and my buddy went. There was a bird that we had hit. He had hit and then went back behind, and he went to go get him. The guy started cussing at him, wouldn't get him his bird.
No kidding. Looks good, Sean. And you said you got a couple birds?
There's two out there, there's one on the ice, and there's one out there, and we're waiting to, he's either, if it doesn't thaw, my dog had to bust ice, but I didn't want him to bust that ice through, or he was getting hurt.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So he's either gonna bring an aluminum boat back or a fishing pole.
Okay. Who's your buddy that's out here with you?
Justin.
Justin?
Yeah, I can get you his phone number.
Yeah, why don't you? You know, one of the reasons I'm out here today is because, you know, these people are concerned. They have a concern of, you know, their property getting shot up. Apparently somebody this weekend was in getting horses, and they say that someone shot over their head. So just be mindful of that when you're hunting down here.
Absolutely.
And that's about as far as I'll go on that. You know, I do have that other bird. I got that other bird from that guy.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and when I leave, I'll just throw that in the back of your truck.
Oh.
It's a Drake mallard.
Yep, Drake mallard.
Sounds like you guys got a couple mallards, so just be mindful of the limits and stuff. You know all the limits.
Absolutely.
All that, okay? Yep, it's six.
5 mallards.
5 mallards, 2 hens. Yep. And then the other thing that just concerns me a little bit is down when the deputy came out here. Did he check your other guy's license?
He yes.
Okay.
As far as the hunting license.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't sound like he did. What concerns me is you know, he told you that I was going to be coming out here, and then when I do come out here, the other guy's gone. Right. So does that guy have a?
He had a meeting.
Does he have a bird license?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Justin does. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
yeah, Justin. You can look it up.
Okay.
It's in the system.
Because that's just something, you know, in the world of game wardening,
Sure,
you know, when a person knows I'm coming out and then they disappear, you know, that's through my experience, that's something that we want to, you know, it's a red flag.
No, and he would welcome a call.
Okay, and I'll give Justin a call. I'll throw the other bird in the back of your truck.
Perfect.
And we'll just call her good, okay?
Nice to
All
meet
right.
you.
Thanks, partner.
Have a good weekend.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you.
Yeah, stay warm.
You bet.
All right, we'll see you. Return this duck to its rightful harvester.
The warden makes a quick call to the second hunter and confirms he has a valid hunting license. He returns the duck and calls the case closed.
Well, that worked out good. He took off there after I had that deputy tell him that I was going to come and chat with him, and then he took off, so I was a little bit suspicious that he didn't have a license. And I had one of our support staff in our office check him, and he had the state license. Unfortunately, we don't track the federal licenses. So I called him. I called him, and he just called me back. And I had him describe what duck was on the stamp, and he said wood duck, and that's what duck it is this year. So that satisfies me. If he would have said, if he would have done one of those, I'm like, we got a problem. What we're gonna do now is we had a landowner complaint this morning that came into our office, so we're just following up on that and just see where that takes us. So stay tuned.
In Montana's Region 4, the Streamlight Spotlight focuses on the Beartooth Game Range. It's opening morning of elk season, and Warden Bryan Golie's first complaint quickly comes in.
What's up? This guy here had shot a bull, and this bike come running down there and damn near killed him. Ran 10 feet with it.
Where's the spike?
In the back of my pickup.
So who did the shooting on this bull?
The gentleman right there in the orange hat.
Yes, sir. This your bull, sir?
Yes, sir.
Can I see your permit?
These hunters shot at one animal, but now have 2 dead elk.
Can you tell me where the what happened with the spike then?
It was up I guess Pollock Mountain, what you know.
Okay.
All right, sitting up there, a couple of bulls are already going in from like around 6. They were sitting in the thick grass as I was walking over there.
Okay.
So I just watched them. So when the shooting started up, I noticed, I started looking around, I seen all the bulls stand up.
Okay.
So I was picking out, I shot this one, I shot him total 3 times.
Okay.
So when he was down, he was getting ready to die. I heard something behind me, so when I turned around, it's the spike coming behind me. But I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
So I'm thinking it's just charging. So it's like right before it gets to me, take a hard dive, slide under.
Okay.
So from that point, I didn't know what was going on. So I went ahead a field trip distance. We went on my other partner here. He was on the party of the 3 parties on our thing.
Come up here real quick. So when you were up there hunting, how many other people were hunting? Hold on to that.
It was our 3 parties.
Okay.
We seen a couple of people come on the horses.
Okay.
Seen a couple of people on bicycles.
Right.
And that was it, but it was a whole lot of more shooting.
All right. Were you the only one in your group that shot a gun today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
The warden suspects this hunter accidentally killed 2 elk with 1 shot. The warden will allow the hunter to keep the bull he aimed at, but the state will confiscate the smaller second elk.
Huh. That's a spine shot. I can't believe it could even run. It's got bone.
He's a good shot.
Interesting. How many yards away was he when you first saw him?
Probably maybe 20, 30 yards away. He got within 10.
I'm just trying to figure out, whoever shot this had to be pretty close to you.
When I say it was like shots,
Yeah.
6 or 7 shots on top of me.
Yep.
That's how that would make mine stand up. When he stood up, mine stood up, and like I say, I could.
Was yours alone then?
No, it was 5 to 7.
You think one of your bullets went through the other elk and hit this one?
No.
You don't think that happened?
I don't think there's no way possible it happened.
All right. So the shots you first heard?
They was in the taller trees
On
up to the
like more than 100 yards away?
more than 100 yards.
Yeah, that's when the bull that we checked got killed. So we checked the bull. It's coming out now. They came from around the timber and came down the road, and they killed it. As you're going up, there's a big grump of timber. They killed it on the backside. So what I'm trying to do is figure out if you had a pass-through or an overshot and hit this elk.
I mean, you check mine. All three of my hoses in my.
They're in your elk.
He was nowhere near. He was nowhere near my deer.
Right.
Even after he failed.
Well, if we can rule you out, that'd be great.
I mean, you on back of the truck.
You definitely have 3 pass-throughs on that?
Yes, sir.
All right. But you see, just because you have 3 pass-throughs on that doesn't mean one didn't go through and go through this.
I understand that.
So when you first shot, was this elk anywhere near yours?
Not even close.
So your elk was by itself?
The elk was over here to the, standing off on the
all by itself?
All by itself, and then you had like 4 or 5 over here.
If I can rule you out, that leaves the other guy that I just talked to.
Okay.
That could have shot it. You understand?
Yes, sir.
So if I can make sure that you're not the one, then I have to talk to him and find out if he was, and if he had a pass-through.
I have no problem.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll donate the elk to somebody besides you guys. And the reason I say that is if there's any question about it, you guys never benefited from this elk if it was an accident, okay? You did exactly the right thing. And the reason that is the only way in the state of Montana that you can possess an animal legally yourself is to shoot it and tag it yourself.
In Montana's Region 5, State Game Warden Nick Taylor wraps up a long day on patrol. As dusk slowly fades to dark, he spots a suspicious boat on the Bighorn River.
You know, we're here right now. We know there's a boat on the water. And so we're just kind of in a position where it's good to just sit and wait. And, you know, maybe if they're deer hunting, they can come back and maybe they have an untagged deer or something like that. You never know. This river stuff is funny. There's a lot of opportunity. And people get out on a boat. They kind of get in the middle of the river and they think, you know, nobody's watching or nobody cares. And there's a lot of people that do. So.
Warden Taylor's persistence pays off. After dark, the boat heads for the dock.
So these guys are coming from the Bighorn upstream. They can only go about 3 miles upstream because there's a diversion dam you can't pass. It's 5:15 right now. They do have a light. So they got decoys. Look at their bird hunters. I'm getting nervous. So what kind of birds we got here, guys?
Well, Canadian geese.
Okay.
I've got 3 Canadians that are mine right here.
Okay.
On the hooks.
Okay. And what do you got there, partner?
They're all males.
All right. Yeah, I was gonna say, tell me how.
Yeah.
How do you know? All right, well, you guys got some bird licenses. Let's take some bird licenses.
That's mine. I'm from Idaho.
Okay. Oh, there it is. Very good.
I don't see my darn duck stamp.
So you don't have your? Did you lose your state stamp there?
You know, I thought I had everything.
Okay.
Right here.
Do you remember buying a federal stamp, Dan?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where did you buy your federal stamp at?
Walmart, I think.
Walmart. So to hunt migratory
see it?
birds, no, you need the federal stamp and you need the state stamp. Okay.
Okay.
And you don't have either today. Now, I can track. You know, if I can look up if you had the state stamp, but there's no actually way where I can look up if you had the federal stamp. Okay. You could, because it's a stamp. You can buy it at, you know, like you said, Walmart. You can buy it at Shields. You can buy it at our office. Yeah. There's no way for me to track that. I'm not calling you a liar that you bought it, but what I do know is we don't have it here right now. Okay. I'll tell you what, Dan, my truck's parked right over here. Can you just follow me over there real quick? Okay. Thank you.
This hunter doesn't have state or federal waterfowl stamps. Now he's got a problem.
You know, when it's not any different from when you're deer hunting or you're elk hunting, you know you gotta have those licenses with you, okay? And I think what might have happened is maybe you lost some licenses, and then you just didn't get that state stamp replaced, okay? But yeah, and I think that's probably what happened. And so what I am going to do is I'm going to write you a citation for failed to have federal waterfowl stamp, okay? It's not the end of the world, you know, it's not axe murder stuff, right, Robert, okay? It's nothing you can't get over, but, you know, at some point, you know, I have to do my job, okay? And I think you can understand that and appreciate that. And it'll take me 10, 15 minutes to scratch these out, and we'll get you on home, okay? Okay. All right, thanks, appreciate it. Yep. All right, thank you very much, I'll be right with you. Folks come out here from out of state and hunt migratory birds, and they'll buy their non-resident state stamp, and they'll have their federal waterfowl stamp from another state. Well, if they don't bring with them, there's no way that we know that they have it or not. And so it puts us in a bad position because, you know, we're not out to, you know, write everybody tickets and do stuff like that. But in a situation like that where we can't track it and they can't show it in the field, we don't have a choice other than to issue that citation.
The funds generated through the purchase of duck stamps are vital for wetland conservation. The charge for hunting without a federal duck stamp runs $135.
Oh, I've never gotten change before. I tell you what, let's see if I have $3 I can change you out. Because I don't think the court would like me turning in change to them. That might give me a bad name in Yellowstone County. Well, looks like we're good to go. Yeah, I appreciate your time. Right. You guys drive safe, okay? All right, thank you. Maybe we'll see you again sometime. Yeah. I tell you what, I wish everybody I dealt with was as good as man as that man. That's a good man. We need more of those kind of people.